Hello everyone, this is Nina with Waffle Flower. In this video, I'm going to share some basic tips using the Carnations Stamp Set from our May release. This is a simple layering set. There are one outline plus 3 layers for flower A and flower B, and one outline plus 1 layer for the stem C and D, which are connected to flower B. On the product page, you will find this lined-up guide that shows you where to line up each of your layers. I'm using Tickled Pink for layer 1, Versafine Clear Charming Pink for layer 2, and Versafine Clear Tulip Red for layer 3. As you can tell, the first layer is significantly lighter than the other two because it's basically a shadow layer. Remember how the petals of carnations are actually white at the edges? As long as you have your ink colors figured out, this is going to be a pretty straightforward process. I decided to up my game by using one mini MISTI for all the layers for flower A and keep them all on there for mass production later. I hope the tips I'm sharing will be helpful to you. So I trimmed my paper to about 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, which is 1/4 of an A2 card panel. Use a pen to mark the corners that I will use as a reference point. For the most consistent result, you may want to die cut all the panels to eliminate any human errors. For the first 2 layers, we will make sure the marked corners is always against the corner on the MISTI. I first stamped my outline layer in Versafine Black. Turn the paper 90 degrees to use the same reference point for my next layer. To make it easier to see, I cut apart the label, which is the printed acetate sheet that stamps came on, and I'll use the label piece to help me line up the layers. This is so easy when you have the guide with you. Once you are lined up, put the stamp on top and line it up with the label. Pick up with the lid, remove the label, ink it up with Tickled Pink, and stamp. For the next layer, I'm lining up the reference point to the 4-inch mark on the left. Make sure the stamps will now overlap. Using my guide and the label sheet to help me line up, picking up the stamp and stamp in Charming Pink. We're getting there. As you can see, it looks good with just 2 of the layers. But for a more realistic look, we're going in with layer 3. Using my guide and my label sheet, stamp the 3rd layer in Tulip Red. The colors may look a little off in this moment, but it will dry to a very smooth, beautiful blend, as you can see here. And here's how the 4 layers ended up on my mini MISTI. I will leave my setup as it is here, and I'll be able to quickly mass produce some beautiful collations later. Flower B is a lot bigger than flower A. You can still use your mini MISTI for it if that's the only tool you have. I will use my original sized MISTI for this. My paper size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is the standard A2 size. Again, mark the corner I will use as a reference point for all the layers. Stamping the outline in Versafine Black, first layer in Tickled Pink, second layer in Charming Pink, and 3rd layer in Tulip Red. I'm surprised how well the Versafine Clear inks layer, even though they're pigment inks. Usually, dye inks work better for layering. As for the stems, I could use the openings on my MISTI to set them up there, but since there's just 1 layer, I found it's easier to just eyeball and stamp using an acrylic block. The ink I used was Versafine Clear Shady Lane. You can also stamp layer 1 in a vibrant color and leave it as it is for a bold and graphic look. We do not have a stamping layer for this little guy here, so I colored it quickly with some Copics. I backed up my focal image using our Lacy Panel Die. I will link it below. And here are some more samples for you. The cleverness of this card. The big letter M, a cut from our Cutaway Alpha Die. I hope my tips for layer stamping will be helpful to you. Thank you for joining me today. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. I'll see you again soon.